Yo, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. It's 11:45 a.m. Pacific time. It's August 19, 2025. Let's begin. His state banned phones in class. This Alabama teacher saw an instant change. It's magic. Alabama enacted a new law keeping phones out of classrooms for the 2025-2026 school year. One teacher saw an instant change. Today, all of my students, 100% of them, took notes in my class, did their assignment, asked for help when they got stuck, and turned it in. And then, when they were done, they talked to each other. Jonathan Buckwalter, Tuscaloosa County High School 11th grade history teacher, said in an August 8 TikTok that reached nearly 2 million views. I have been pulling my hair out for like 8 years. Has it been this easy of a solution the whole time? Walter asked in the video. 33 states have enacted legislation regarding school cell phone usage amid a growing push to restrict students' smartphone access in schools, primarily due to mental health and concerns about academic attendance. As the policy to roll out for the 2025-26 school, educators and parents alike are closely watching the on students and their mental health. These kids are swearing off smartphones. It's sparking a movement. How smartphones impact the young brain. Nearly half online content from the Pew Research Center, and 72% of teens say sometimes or frequently check their notifications as soon as they wake up. They're chemically addicted to their phones, Buckwalter says. They cannot experience anything that isn't constant stimulation. Child psychiatrist and Yale School of Medicine professor Jan Ponson says smartphones affect the brain in three key ways: impacting productivity and prioritization, depleting the brain's cognitive patience and threshold for tolerating frustration, and rewiring the brain's pleasure pathways and dopamine release. Your dopamine system over time, over multiple events, is getting set in a way that to trigger a dopamine release and a feel good release, you actually need this phone, because nothing else in life is regularly going to give you that level of satisfaction, Ponson says. Smartphone addiction is heavily tied to social media algorithms that feed curated content to users, but can also be impacted by color saturation, notifications, and refresh screens. Over time, technology addiction rewires the brain to expect instant gratification, depleting the brain's cognitive patience and threshold for tolerating frustration in the process. If we expose ourselves to these sort of easy dopamine hits, cheap dopamine hits, when we're younger, then we're setting our homeostasis where we can only feel good by having access to these items. The result is that teaching today requires more gamification in the form of Kahoots, Quizlet, or Jeopardy style games to learn subject content. Buckwalter says he feels more pressure now than when he started teaching to be a stand-up comedian and a game show host. In order to keep students engaged, we don't prepare our kids well for the adult world when we say everything has to be fun. Buckwalter says the kids need to take education seriously even if it's boring. Efforts to ban phones in school gain traction. When Buckwalter started teaching in 2017, he said phones were still an issue, but it didn't feel like a fight the way it does following the COVID-19 pandemic. Even in Buckwalter's best behaved classes, phones became a nearly daily problem. More and more, he found himself interrupting lessons to police phone usage. He felt completely helpless. By that time, because the kids had been wired for so long, had been tuned into the internet for so long. During COVID and quarantine, they had lost the ability to use. But Walter says, for many students, this year is the first time they've navigated a school setting without constant access to devices. She had to actually socialize all day, one Alabama mom captioned on a TikTok of her teenage daughter reuniting with her phone after going without it all day. The post racked up 1.9 million views. It says that up until this year, cell phone policies were largely decided on a class-by-class basis, making it a challenge for teachers to enforce policies that weren't standardized. Last year, he and other teachers experienced situations where students saw and acted out if asked to put their phones away in class. In Alabama, students are required to leave any wireless communication devices, including tablets, pagers, personal computers, and gamers, in lockers or personal vehicles during school hours. Opponents of the policy argue bans make it harder for parents to get in touch with their kids during emergency situations. Buckwalter, however, says his classroom saw an immediate change. It's magic. Buckwalter says, adding that he won't be able to make a final evaluation of the legislation impact until the end of the school year. I expected there to be a lot more friction. It's a campaign experts like the Anxious Generation author have for on the basis that phone-free academic settings provide kids with better opportunities for academic growth and socialization. Groups like Wait Until 8th Grade and Smartphone-Free Childhood encourage parents to sign pacts promising to delay giving kids devices until the end of the 8th grade or even 16 years old. Last year, if Buckwalter's class finished a few minutes early, the room would go dead silent as kids reached for their phones. Now the conversations happening in class are so vibrant that he has to ask students to quiet down. One of my favorite parts is when they're finished with their classwork or they're in the lunchroom, they talk to each other. Buckwalter says, it was like, oh my god, this is how it's supposed to be. Thank you. Anyways, appreciate it. It's another one, and basically, Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, Studio 11. Follow me on X, Studio 2020. I like to say Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Thank you for joining, and of course, it's until next time. See you on the next YouTube video. See you on the next video. See you until